In this video, we're going to learn how to build windows in a visionOS app. We'll first build a basic window like this, and then we'll learn how to open multiple windows. Click window 1, it will open one view, and window 2 will open another window. So that's what we'll learn, and let's get started building this thing. Starting with the small window first. So here I got a new Xcode project open, and what I'm going to do is go to the visionOS tab, click on app, and click next. I'm going to name it Windows Project, and for the initial scene I'm going to choose a window. Click next, and now we have the starting point of the app. So here's the preview of our app, and we're going to remove everything that comes by default. So remove this whole VStack, and for now just replace that with a text saying window 1. Great, so this is the starting window. So first we're going to create that small starting window with a Vision Pro image here, and then 2 buttons which will later open different windows. So for the image, I'm going to click the image component and then choose system name. With this we can use SF symbols. If you don't know what they are system defined images which Apple gives you. It usually comes installed with Xcode, but they are essentially system icons that Apple provides freely for you to use. And in this case, we're using the Vision Pro one. So this guy here. So simply type in the string. So I'm going to type it here, Vision Pro, and you can see we got the image here. Now I want to make that a bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is font, system size, and size of, let's say, 150. That looks good. Next, I want to add the pulsing effect for the image. So that comes with the latest version of SF Symbols package, which is SF Symbol 5. With that, you get this modifier called symbol effect. So if I choose symbol effect and then type in dot pulse, awesome. So now if you see, the visionOS image is pulsating. Great. Finally, I'm going to make this image a bit bolder. Next, I want the 2 buttons below it that will open additional windows. So for that, I'm going to use an H tag to place 2 different buttons, and button 1, let's call it window 1, and on press we'll do something here, and button 2 is window 2, and here again on press we'll open a different window. Here in disclosure is the action that you want to do when you press the button. We'll leave that empty for now, but later we'll open different windows when we press the buttons. Now what I also want to do is I want to place both these items inside a VStack. A VStack, or a vertical stack, is something where you can place items next to each other vertically, and we can adjust the spacing between them as well. So I'm going to take all these, both the image and the set of buttons, and place it inside a VStack. Great, so now it's inside a VStack, and I gave it a spacing of 30, and what that did was it changed the spacing between the elements inside the VStack, which is an image and the set of buttons. And the buttons are inside an H stack, which is a horizontal stack, which means the buttons inside these H stacks will be placed next to each other horizontally, which is what you see here. And that's the view. The view essentially looks good. So this view, the content view, I'm going to rename it starting window, and then go back to the app starting point, which is the Windows Project app. I'm going to replace the content view with the new name, which is the starting window. So this is the starting point of the app where we define the scenes that we have in our app. And inside a scene, we have at the moment one window, which is the starting window, but later we can define multiple windows here, which we'll come to soon. But for now, for the starting window, what we want to do is we're going to give it a default size to make it a bit smaller. So windows are resizable, but you can also provide them a default size as the starting size when the app first appears. So for that, I'm going to do default size. It expects a CG size object. So CG size, it comes with the width height overload. So here for the width, I'm going to give it, say, 600. And for the height, I'm going to give it 450. Now let's try running this on the simulator. Oh, there's one more error. So for the previews, we didn't rename that to starting window as well. Great. So now let's play in the simulator. Awesome. So now you can see the starting size is smaller, and we got the starting window as expected. So this is a very simple example of how to create a window with the starting size and these 2 simple elements. Of course, a view is limitless. You can design whatever you want inside the view. So feel free to experiment and add in your own bits. So next up, I want to show you how to open multiple windows. So if I click on window 1, we want to open one window, and window 2 should open a different window. Now to open multiple windows, what we need is to go to the starting point of the app, which is this guy here, the one which inherits from the app object. And then here we have the initial window group. And what we want is to define all the different windows we have in our app. So here we want one more window group. We're going to give it an ID of window 1. And over here, we're going to just pass in an empty view for now, which is simply an empty gray box. And then we want one more window. So window group, give it an ID of window 2. And then the starting window, we're going to give it an ID as well. So ID starting window. And here, of course, empty view as well for now. So here what we've done is we've told the app we got 3 windows in our visionOS app. One's called the starting window, the other one's window 1, and then there's window 2. So if you run this on a simulator, you will see that the other 2 windows are not open, but simply the starting window. And that's because visionOS by default opens the first window group defined. The other 2, we need to add some logic to open it. So in our case, what we're going to do is we're going to open window 1 when we press the window 1 button, and window 2 when we press the window 2 button here. So to do that, first we need to get access to some environment objects. Environment, open window, and we're going to define a private var for that and name it open window. Environment values, they are stuff stored in the app's environment or the app's global container, which makes it easier to access global objects or stuff that is shared across views from different views. So open window is one example of a function stored in the app's environment by visionOS by default, which you can use to open a window with an ID. So for example, when we press the window button 1, open window, and this opens a window that's associated with the specified identifier. And if you remember, for this, we gave it an identifier of window 1. So here we want to open the window 1, and here, when we press the second button, we want to open window 2. Great. Now if I play the app again, if I click on window 1, you can see an empty view pops up, exactly what we expect, and window 2, the second window pops up. Great. So that's exactly what we expect. Now finally, let's just quickly design those windows. Go here, create a new SwiftUI view. I'm going to name it sample view. Let me just drag that over here. Oh, here I want to name the file name starting window as well, because content view was previously refactored to starting view. Okay, now going back to the sample view, here we'll create a sample view which we'll place as a window. I'm going to make this one quick. So I'm simply having a Z stack first. A Z stack is where you can place elements on top of each other. So the first element, I'm going to have a circle, give it a foreground color of say blue for now. And on top of this, I'm going to display a simple text saying hello. And I'm going to make the text size font extra large. And I'm giving the entire Z stack a padding of 50. So we get a nice little view like this. Great. Now finally, I want to pass the text and color as a variable to the view. So var color is of type color, and then var text is of type string. So replace this text with text, and then the color with the color received when we construct the view. Great, we're going to replace this color and the text dynamically now. So here the preview is now asking for the missing arguments. So for the color, we're going to try a blue color, and then text, we're going to say hello. Awesome. Now we got a nice little sample view template. With this, we can change the color and text dynamically. That's how beautiful SwiftUI is. It makes designs very modular and easy to use. We're going to go back to the main starting point of the app. And here for the first and second windows, instead of an empty view, we're going to call a sample view. The first window will be of color, say blue, and with text saying window 1. And the second window would be the sample view, but now a color of red and say text of window 2. So now we got 3 windows, the starting window and the window 1 and window 2, for which we've provided the sample view that we just designed with different colors and different text. Now if I run this app, if I open window 1, you can see the first window, and window 2, the second window with a different view. Awesome, so that's it. In this video, we learned how to design a simple window and give it a default size. And we also learned how to open multiple visionOS windows in an app. And at the same time, we learned a little bit of SwiftUI by designing a simple sample view which has colors and text that could be adjusted dynamically.